Ada for any 8 for a son so mamma crab a bium ediba a Ghana TV so mamma is a Ghana TV there and some air cost over Ghana. And no one any the air bremo areas I set a be cutting of from bringing for no at them for a west for MPs or your former MP. If I say, be a cunyania to some prayer or some away a no severe or Casa communication team or come with your name. And I got to my TV so near Bisan is I say Bawumia or a flag bearer Navy and say when you meet in a Dean Ben, a Dean Ben, a air bustle, and I said I can send me brave pants, ever call, never go to a and seminar can you buy. I am Michelle, so we know your bed, a better also. The
primaries ended. Were you the one I saw on the stage?
No. I was so tired.
Okay, I saw some of the person.
I didn't come to Accra.
You were outside Accra?
Yeah, I wasn't Katamazo in Tema East.
You were monitoring?
I was coordinating Katamazo. But I have to come to my constituency.
So what do you make of the elections? And of course, the aftermath of the elections, interestingly, the issue of running mate has also started. Already yesterday, there were publications in newspapers about a minister. They failed to mention the minister's name, but they say the minister is from Ashanti. That the minister is telling lies abroad and all that. So the positioning and slinging and mudslinging has already started. But I mean, the election and the outcome of the elections. There are people who look at the 61. There are people who look at about the 40% who did not prefer Alhaji Bawumia, and people have looked at the analysis differently. The issue of polling, research, 80%, 70%, 75%, and all those things have come up. Interestingly, Global Info Analytics has come up strongly once again as an extremely credible polling and research company because they got us in North virtually right. This one too, they've actually been spot on. And I remember when they did their final one, the campaign coordinator for Dr. Bawumia, Samuel Oku, actually said that any poll that puts the vice president below 70% is not something that they would even consider. But well, the chickens have come home to roost.
I think. Thank you very much, Andy. The best survey is the outcome of the elections. Let me take this opportunity to thank all our delegates who managed to cast ballots. All the 276 constituencies, National Council members, National Executive Committee members, members of the steering committee, the overseas branches, members of parliament, and what have you. Let me also congratulate the contestants who contested the elections, right from the super delegates to the final one on the 4th. And at the end of the day, we all saw how serene the whole 276 constituencies, and including the headquarters, how the elections was conducted. It was free, it was fair, no underhand dealings, and everything went on so professional. And at the end of the day, Dr. Bawumia won. Some of us who had the opportunity to work for him were very confident that he's going to win with a bigger margin. But hey, elections are sometimes different, and for that matter, he had 61.47%.
You are the four Mugusu Moti former West MP. Yes, I said no, and I want to miss at least be APA appointing a by and list in APA by you who are shanty MPs be bring Dean was a listener. So we must say energy minister and mathematical prempen Dean was education minister and so Dean was also about MP BISA. Or no, just say minister be as on the same campaign go be our broaching as a mammy way, dear, just any dean as our can air listener. Why not some and I go to airplane Mammy, a friend of say your parent, so then I saw about to say, and now she was very, very active and letting almost say the way she is active in everything that's going on in the D and the air copy app, so on number air animate and farmer, air the summer by Mona Sell, I said, David, will be a Bawumia pressure, no time in this one, or best let you be or bear in the day, or bear in animate, and sounds to end so and also name.
Then comes the issue of running mates. By the rules of our engagement, the selection of the running mate is the sole prerogative of the presidential candidate. I don't want anybody to give him pressure. He just came out of the elections. Whoever he wants to be his running mate, I'm sure by now he knows. But even that, he need to do some further consultations with some key personalities in the party to make sure that whoever he comes up with is going to be acceptable. So the names that have come up, fine, they are good names, but at the end of the day we are going to choose one, just like the normal presidential elections. So they should just bid their time, and it's not a matter of somebody going to get people to be talking for him or campaigning for him. That is going to, it's not going to work.
Yesterday I saw one, the chief of staff. This is a song, actually a song that has been composed.
There are people who do all kinds of funny things, Kwesi. You know, there are people who are doing all kinds of funny things. You know, of course, they have their choices that they can make. I like Kwesi, I like Andete, so that is what I want. At the end of the day, the man to take that decision is a presidential candidate. So let's give him that space to think through and see the person he thinks, and in choosing the running mate, somebody that you can work comfortable with. You don't just go and pick anybody. At the end of the day, there's going to have issues and problems that will weigh you down. You understand? So you need to get somebody who can complement your ticket that you want to go to the elections with. So clearly, it is in the domain of the presidential candidate to come out with his running mates that will be acceptable to all of us. And I believe that by now, his consultation has started. Key people that he need to consult, get their input, and of course there are going to be certain criteria that you need to look at. You don't just get up and get a running mate. There are certain key criteria that you need to follow, checklist, that look, we need this, you need this, you need that, and based on that you'll be able to complement a ticket that we're going to run. So let me take the opportunity to thank the National Executive. Let me thank the Professor Michael Quay Presidential Election Committee for also doing a very good job to make sure that we manage to come to the end of this election. So the focus now is on 2024 general elections, and by now they will putting the teams together, all the campaign teams together. Those we need to bring on board and include everybody to make sure that we'll be able to prosecute these elections in 2024. So in brief, that's what I can say about our elections. But when you look at the historical antecedents of all our presidential elections from 92, you recall that Professor Dubai had about 56%. President J. Kufuor's attempt in 96, 98, I think, had 51%. Nanado himself in Legon 2007 had about 47.9%. Then His Excellency the Vice President for the first time had 61%. So when you look at the records, you can confidently say that he has really done so well, and the fact that he was able to touch on a lot of people to come on board to assist him.
Unless, of course, for people who are interested in data, you could be your basis for comparison could be wrong. I mean, beyond the fact that they
Electoral College.
Yes, because those ones prior to 2010, they will be like what you now call your super delegates. But if you want to really look at this election, then you have to look at it from 2010. So this is the third. That is when you've had the over 200,000.
But no, it doesn't matter. It's just like you are doing a research.
Yes.
You don't do the normal or the entire Electoral College to do your research. You take sample size.
Yeah, but a sample is important. I'm just saying that, I'm just saying that comparing, you could compare the sample size of the Electoral College, because in terms of the constitution of the Electoral College and the numbers, that could be similar to those previous elections.
You are right.
Yes,
you are right.
But
So
for this one, there have been 2 previous ones. So at least there are 3 like for like elections. So it would be better to rather do that.
So clearly you could see that he has really touched base, and there are a lot of issues that he managed to bring along that will enable people to accept his brand as the one we think that we can go to the elections in 2024. So I believe strongly that there's a lot of things that we can do together. The elections have come, they've gone. They've all pledged their support, because after every election, what you need is a total unity of all aspirants to come on board to make sure that we market the winner. And for the surprise that we all had was that of Honorable Kennedy Japan, because when Alan Chamantin left, because from the one he was being placed at the 3rd spot until the super delegate that we realized that he has overtaken that of Alan Chamantin. So clearly we never believed that he could make that mark close to 40%, but Anette, he has done so well, so well. You never heard him in terms of their campaign underground, what was going on. But I think he needs to be commended for coming up strongly and to make a mark. It reminds me of my national election when I went around, because people were not believing me that I could make such a great stride.
That was serious.
Just close like this. So we need to commend the Honorable Kennedy Japan for that yeoman's job that he has done. Indeed, he's a force in this party. He's really walked the talk. The showdown really gave us a showdown, clearly, in terms of the percentage that he had. So such a material, you can't take him away. He's going to be a focal person, very central in the scheme of this campaign that we are running.
You are the 4 and in 7 and the airport, Honorable Secretary and country say. Bawumia son of Becca's obey running mate and as obey flag of a party, no nimba cord never yet a yen running mate in Zima or behind Patricia and also a Tobani, you a woman from Macavani and film. Now I'm playing for the company, never very suggested and saying in now, swear and a cofa or be any fee a finance sector and any by year, and running meetings, Mobia so any day, Mobia Emma, a year Bawumia pressure, a Druswa, listen, P. say, Napo, say, Mr. Energy Education Minister. You say the chumo, say mama yourself of ring. Fema or say pario bia beg for the bet to make you in the piano. Bia, but maybe choosing the piano. Sunny Pana by man about 1 rating the idea. It's in a government a crow and Indian Sunny Panana. About me, I be finding some more beer and rush it about me. Wow, sharing. Wow, TME, wow, so shame one. Winding and never was wine about me a long run. Or better, let me say on by yet and the running mate. Messenger said they also urging a faster in some women who better fair Eddie Amami, our comment and a half. Ghana team, Simidin, Michelle, to see her there. My grandma.